Hello again, this is Dr. Blair Reich, and I'm back at Steemit slash at Agro. And we're going to go check out Hillary Clinton is still Hillary Clinton's second body double. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look around, and I'm going to try to show you that she ages normally from sometime in 2015 through September of 2016, and then she has to go leave the memorial event or the 9/11 memorial event, and then a new version comes out, and then she goes to her place in Chippewa, New York, and then it appears that a third person comes out. And most recently, after the explosion in New York, she put on a press announcement, and the woman that was at the Greensboro campaign event looks to be the exact same woman that was on the plane. So to me, it looks like they're sticking with Hillary Clinton's second body double. And then there were a couple other things that I've noticed. So in the footage of her getting in the black van that's leaving the memorial site, one of the Secret Service members is filming the event. So he's like right there, maybe 2 feet away from Hillary Clinton. And some people think that she's being arrested. I don't get the sense that her hands are cuffed behind her. Maybe I could see why somebody might think that, but I don't personally see it. The other thought is maybe that was a dummy. I don't know what I think about that yet, but those were two things that I noted. The one thing I can tell you that is fact is that there's somebody staying there filming that as the Hillary Clinton gets into the van. The next piece is that when she's leaving that memorial site, so these two are from the same footage. When she's leaving, if you look at the metal grates on the to the sort of bottom right of the screen, they kind of go in and out of the more rounder poles that are sticking out of the ground. So like the things that look maybe like you could hug them are they're solid, and the grates, the like individual lines of the grates, the verticals seem to be going in and out, which kind of makes that whole thing looks like it's photoshopped, which is kind of what we're seeing in some of these other ones. So I don't know. I haven't really put my heart and soul into checking that one out, but it starts looking that way. And then there appears to be one photo the morning of 9/11 in 2016 where it looks like it's Hillary's body double that's actually entering. So I only have one photo, so it's only one data point, but that's sort of interesting too. So just my main point is that with these things, it starts looking like that whole event was staged. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not stating that for certain, but it's worth looking into. Anyways, here's Hillary Clinton. This is Secretary Clinton. Notice the blue eyes. They look a little darker blue here. But, she's 68 years old. She looks like a 68-year-old woman. They kind of go from light blue to dark blue at different times. That's normal. You can see the big chin creases. You can see the cheek creases. For the ear people that like to look at her ear, you can see that it kind of dies in here, and I don't know, it just has that tight little shape around there. Some of her crow, well, I think those are crow's feet, but they're right there. So, it looks like when she was at the convention, they were able to touch that up some. I don't know if this is a touched up photo or if the event was touched up. Like, I know that when Lorde is singing, you can see, like, that whole thing is touched up while the presentation is happening. But she's looking better here than normal. But it's not in every single photo. So this is sort of what makes me think that some of these things are touched up, because the lines are gone here. This might be like a Photoshop thing that I have a site for that, but it looks like maybe that was Photoshop. This looks more like the real photo of what I'd expect. And again, you see the blue eyes, you see the creases. This to me, it almost looks like a tan line to some extent. Like I just keep thinking the Joker smile, because it kind of like goes back to a point back there. Again, she seems to be aging fairly gracefully. You just see the wrinkles, some of the spots on her head. There's actually, so people talk about the moles. There's a mole that's on the top of her lip here, and then there's also a mole that's on the bottom of her lip there. So there's actually two, and that'll be relevant shortly. And here, she's looking like your grandmother, which is fine, but this is not, this is no longer a young lady. This is somebody that, is clearly 68, that is at like the grandparent age. So then coming down here, here's the mole again, and that looks to be it down below. Here you can see it pretty clearly. It's one there and one there. Kind of the big bags under the eyes. That's okay. And I guess this is actually the real DNC convention that's happening here. One above, it's kind of hidden down there, but you can see it pretty clearly on these guys where it's one there and maybe one of these guys. But she has two moles. There it is. There it is. So this is a July convention. Here, it's pretty pronounced in this photo. So you can see the two there, the light blue eyes, the kind of creases that go around her face, a broad chin. Here you can see sort of the shape within the earlobe there. And then this is sort of one of the last photos of her prior to getting into 9/11 stuff. Blue eyes, same kind of creases, the necklines that go across. She's looking better here than she did in this last one, but she's still not super young. Okay, and again, the moles that are there. And here's the mole, and here's the mole, and this is on 9/11 now. So you can see the sort of standard ear shape that's there with this kind of like tight little protrusion into her skull. If you look close, the earring that this version of Clinton is wearing is different from the other version that's in the double. So I'm not going to be able to, I didn't really focus on that for this, but those pictures are different. And now she just looks younger. The circles come out further. The chin shape is different. The wrinkles around the chin are different. Technically, the earrings are different too, though you can't see that in the photos that I've snapped. Her width is a lot thinner. The legs are skinnier. There's just a bunch that doesn't look the exact same, and it's a little easier to see when you put them right next to each other. And these two women don't really strike me as the same either. This crease doesn't. This crease goes from here, and it's more like a straight line, whereas this thing is sort of curving around. She doesn't have the same sort of chin marks on either side. So this person and this person start looking different to me. And so this is what I'm saying is the second body double. I think this is a press conference, and this is at her actual, the campaign speech that she gives down in Greensboro. And so this goes back to the first Clinton, and this is that shape that I'm used to seeing. I don't know, it almost kind of looks like a tooth to some extent. There's the same thing. There it is. And again, this is before the switch, so this looks like that same kind of tooth shape to me, and the earrings are the one that I would expect. Chin is the size I'd expect. And then, I mean, just look between these two photos. Those two people are not the same. I mean, somebody could convince me that, this woman in 10 years will turn into this person, but I would have a very difficult time, and do have a very difficult time, believing that those two are the same. But if somebody were to tell me, hey, look at these two people, those look pretty similar to me. Some of the that ear shape is kind of there, but I don't see the full tooth that I was expecting. I don't see the lower mole. Her eye color is different. It's the same as hers, but it's different from the Clinton that I was expecting. And she just looks a lot younger. You can see like a very thin crease in her neck, or a wrinkle in her neck down here, but it's nothing compared to sort of the lines that are down here. And unless she's absolutely stretching it out, she has that as a just there present on her neck. I don't know how else to describe it. So, it's a little easier to see when you put these two women right next to each other that there's the blue eyes, and I don't think those are blue eyes. She's on a plane on this, so plane light is a little bit wonky. But like she's not making much of a face, and you can see this pretty strong crease right here. Maybe makeup can take that away, but that's not what I'd expect. The ear shape looks different. In part, this one just looks a lot bigger, and this width looks a lot bigger. I know that the photos aren't sized to be the same, but just sort of proportional to the rest of her face. And I know there's an angle, so I'm making a bunch of assumptions. But I see like this really, really faint mole up here. And again, maybe that's just a ton of makeup. But, you know, somebody could convince me that this woman will eventually turn into this woman. Unless you have a fountain of youth, I don't know how you go from this woman to that woman. And the same sort of thing over here. You know, this person and this person, I can agree are the same person. And this person and this person are not the same person. This person, again, looks 10 years older. You know, the neck crease that kind of just stays tight here. It kind of goes this nice big arc over there and an arc over here. Almost kind of like a little pear shape there. The chin lines are different. Here, this is kind of further out, whereas these are just tight right in. This is a sort of standard Joker's smile that I keep referencing. So there's just that crease on the side of her face and then the wrinkles, and maybe you have like a touch of that over here, but this thing is definitely not going deep into like a corner that I'd expect. And then the same thing up here, like you can't really tell me that this person and this person are the same. They don't look the same. They don't have the same face shape. The mole might even be in a different spot or just more prominent. This looks like it's a little bit lower on her lip and further into the crease. So maybe that's just a smile thing. I don't know. The teeth and the smile don't look quite the same. I know that's not the easiest place, but they just don't. This woman is clearly older than that woman. And this woman is clearly older than that woman. And I don't want to guess at the age of these two. I guess she looks like she's the youngest out of all of them. And this version's a little older. Her dimple seems to be, or the mole seems to be the smallest of them. She has kind of this like tight, compact little chin that kind of protrudes out a little bit, while these ones have these kind of wider chins. The neck seems the smoothest here. This version seems like it's the youngest version out of all of them. So these two, I could believe, are the same person. This match doesn't make any sense, and this match doesn't make any sense, and this match doesn't make any sense. So just looking at those, I see three different people in those four photos. Anyway, she gives this press conference where
I've been briefed
she's a little
about
zombie-like.
the bombings in New York and New Jersey and the attack in Minnesota. Obviously, we need to do everything.
So this woman doesn't look like she's 68. She looks more like she's 58. The
we
eyes
can to support our first responders.
Those eyes I don't think are blue. She has like piercing blue eyes. She's wearing blue. That's blue. I'd expect blue to be sitting right there, and that is not a blue eye. That's got some pretty good light to it. Her ear seems thinner. This isn't quite the same tooth shape. Kind of doesn't come out the same way. I mean, the ear thing doesn't really convince me. It's sort of the rest of it or all of it together. This is like a really, really, really tiny like mole piece, and I don't think I see one at the bottom.
Unfold. We've been in touch with.
Again, you can see this chin right here. This is a very compact chin. She has some neck wrinkles, which is what I'd expect, but these are not like deep creases. So
Various officials, including the mayor's office in New York, to learn what they are discovering as they.
So let's go back a little just to go. You can see that she gets some, as her head goes up, that's the wrinkles that she gets. So if we go look at some of the other photos, when you look at the like top part of her head, those are her from her like eyebrows to the top of her hairline. It's all straight wrinkles across. And in this one, all that you see is like 1, 2, 3 maybe. I mean, this woman she hasn't lived as long as the other one has.
Discovering as they conduct this investigation.
And again, like, that is not a blue eye. It's like a hazel or green or something. It's just not the right color.
And I'll have more to say about it when we actually know.
And just where the teeth are and the shape of the teeth, that looks different. I don't know. I've had enough of that. Trying to go look at her hands. So I could find, this is an earlier version of her, although Huma's sitting in the back there, so maybe it's not that old. I don't think that I included a link for where I got this one, but, I'm not like a palm reader, but these two are the same hand. This line is missing, and this line is missing. So just looking at, every now and then I'm like doubting myself of, hey, are these two really two different people? That's a pretty extreme sentence. Yeah, I mean, this is the same hand. Where the hell are the creases? So I'm not like trying to read her fortune here, but some of the length problems are weird too. Like here, her first finger is longer than the third, and here the third finger is a little bit longer than the first, and it's the same hand. So I don't know. The other hand, I tried to go find the right hand, and I can't tell from these. So I posted, maybe somebody's better at this than I am or has a better hand. I mean, I can see this is Hillary's actual hand, and she seems to have a crease right here that isn't existing over here, but neither of those have terribly good resolution, so I can't tell a lot. And I tried to go look at the hand of the second double, but these fingers are probably a little bent, so it's not quite as extreme as what it looks there. So I was trying to look, but somebody that, some of the other videos have tens of thousands of people that have looked. Maybe you guys can go find what that thing is actually supposed to look like. And then this is weird. So you can't tell from here, and I'm not going to go scroll in because it doesn't work at this. But if you go click on that link, actually maybe I'll go do that. When I click on this link, that photo is this one, and as I zoom in to this, it turns out that earring is different than the one I'd expect. This nose is more consistent with the double. The hair is the double. The chin is the double. So this is on 9/11, and it's pretty dark out there. So I'm thinking this is earlier in the morning because of the darkness there. So this is maybe her being brought in. So that's part of what makes me think that some of this stuff is more staged than what I was originally thinking that it was. I don't know. So I guess if I had to go point to what's the big conclusion here? My takeaway is that these are three people. And this one's the youngest. This is the next youngest. This is the actual secretary that was like a New York senator, was married to Bill Clinton. I don't know who these two people are. And I don't think those two people are the same person. Look at those creases. Those are different. Those are different than her. So, I don't know. Is this definitive proof? No, but that's the best I can do right now. All right. Thanks, guys.